The hunting club occupies 50 acres of wooded property an hour outside the city, featuring shooting ranges, wildlife trails, and a clubhouse designed to resemble a rustic lodge. Founded 30 years ago by local sportsmen, the club maintains a reputation as a family-friendly organization promoting responsible firearms ownership, hunter safety education, and conservation. Members include law enforcement officers, military veterans, business owners, and families who enjoy shooting sports and outdoor recreation. The club hosts youth programs teaching firearms safety and marksmanship, sponsors conservation projects, and maintains strong relationships with state wildlife agencies. The clubhouse contains what management describes as an educational firearms collection, displayed in glass cases throughout common areas. Vintage hunting rifles, historical military weapons, and examples of firearms development over 2 centuries fill the displays, each accompanied by plaques describing historical significance and technical specifications. The collection supposedly serves educational purposes, helping members and visitors understand firearms evolution and historical context. Management emphasizes the collection's value for teaching firearms safety and appreciation of craftsmanship across different eras. Club leadership maintains all required licenses and permits for the collection, with proper documentation filed with federal and state authorities. Regular inspections by ATF compliance officers find the collection properly secured in locked display cases, with documentation showing legitimate acquisition through estate sales, auctions, and private collectors. Insurance appraisals value the collection at over $3 million, making it one of the most comprehensive private firearms collections in the state. Everything appears completely legitimate and consistent with the club's stated educational mission. What inspectors don't realize is that the educational collection serves as cover for a massive illegal firearms warehouse hidden in storage areas beneath and behind the display spaces. The visible collection represents only a fraction of weapons actually on the property, with the majority concealed in hidden rooms accessible through concealed passages from the clubhouse basement. These hidden spaces contain thousands of weapons acquired through illegal channels and awaiting distribution to criminal networks across multiple states. The educational collection provides perfect cover, explaining the presence of numerous weapons on the property and creating plausible explanations for the shipping and receiving activities that actually support the illegal warehouse operation. The operation began 8 years ago when the club faced severe financial difficulties following declining membership and expensive facility repairs. Club leadership considered selling property to cover debts, but recognized that selling would end the organization many members valued. One board member with connections to criminal networks proposed an alternative, using the club's legitimate firearms collection and licensed status as cover for illegal weapons storage and distribution. The club's rural location, established reputation, and regular inspections that always found everything proper made it ideal for hiding illegal operations behind legitimate activities. The board member who proposed the scheme became the operation's primary organizer, recruiting criminal associates to supply weapons and identify buyers, while other board members focused on maintaining the club's legitimate appearance. The organizer acquired weapons through various illegal channels, including straw purchases, theft recovery, and imports without proper documentation. These weapons get moved onto club property, concealed in vehicles, and transferred to hidden storage areas during evening hours when only trusted individuals are present. The weapons inventory grows steadily as the operation expands, eventually containing over 5,000 firearms awaiting distribution. The hidden storage areas demonstrate sophisticated construction designed to defeat detection during inspections. Contractors hired for supposedly routine maintenance actually built concealed rooms behind false walls in the basement and created hidden passages connecting these spaces to the clubhouse. Climate control systems maintain proper conditions for weapon storage. and security systems independent from the club's main system protect the hidden areas. The construction quality and concealment sophistication suggest professional expertise and substantial capital investment in creating warehouse capacity that can operate indefinitely without detection. Distribution happens through what appears to be normal club operations and activities. Buyers arrive posing as members or guests attending shooting events, educational programs, or hunting expeditions. During their visits, they meet with the organizer in areas away from general membership, complete transactions using cash or cryptocurrency, and receive weapons concealed in equipment bags or vehicle compartments. The buyers leave appearing like normal club visitors. With weapons hidden among legitimate hunting equipment and firearms they're legally entitled to possess and transport. The system moves hundreds of weapons monthly through what looks like routine club activities. The customer base includes dealers supplying criminal organizations, individuals prohibited from legal firearms ownership, and buyers seeking weapons without documentation for various illegal purposes. Some purchase small quantities for personal use, while others buy in bulk for resale through criminal networks. The organizer maintains detailed records of transactions, apparently as insurance against buyers or suppliers attempting to cheat him. These records get stored in encrypted digital files and hidden physical ledgers, creating comprehensive documentation of years of illegal arms trafficking conducted from the hunting club. Revenue from the illegal operation far exceeds income from legitimate club membership and activities. The organizer and cooperating board members split profits exceeding $2 million annually, with funds laundered through various businesses and investments to obscure their criminal origins. The club's financial problems disappear as illegal proceeds get funneled through legitimate operations, allowing facility improvements and program expansions that enhance the club's reputation and make it seem more successful and legitimate. The improving finances actually result from systematic criminal activity rather than growing membership or successful management. Federal investigators first noticed the club during an investigation into a weapons trafficking network operating across 6 states. Agents tracing firearms recovered from crime scenes discover several weapons share characteristics, suggesting common recent storage in similar conditions, despite being manufactured decades apart. The pattern indicates the weapons passed through a common intermediate location between theft or acquisition and final distribution. Investigators focus on identifying storage facilities capable of holding diverse firearms inventories while maintaining proper environmental conditions. The hunting club emerges as a candidate when investigators review businesses and organizations holding federal firearms licenses in regions where traced weapons originated. The club's large educational collection provides legitimate reason for maintaining substantial weapons inventory and receiving regular shipments. Its rural location offers privacy for concealing additional illegal activities. The club's solid reputation and regular inspection compliance make it seem an unlikely suspect, which actually makes it more suspicious to experienced investigators who recognize that sophisticated criminals often hide behind respected, legitimate operations. An undercover operation begins when investigators learn that the club accepts new members and frequently hosts public events. An agent applies for membership, providing background information that passes screening while concealing his law enforcement identity. He participates in club activities, gradually building relationships with members and leadership while watching for any indicators of illegal operations. The process requires patience, because rushing would raise suspicions and potentially cause the operation to shut down before investigators gather sufficient evidence. The agent eventually makes contact with the organizer during a shooting event, engaging him in conversations about firearms collecting and expressing interest in acquiring specific weapons for his supposed collection. The organizer responds cautiously, testing the agent's knowledge and intentions before hinting that he might be able to locate difficult-to-find items through his connections in the collector community. Over several weeks, the conversations become more explicit, with the organizer eventually suggesting he can provide weapons that aren't available through normal channels if the agent is interested and can meet price expectations. The first transaction happens in a storage building away from the main clubhouse during an evening when few members are present. The organizer leads the agent to what appears to be an equipment storage area, then opens a concealed passage revealing the hidden warehouse spaces. The agent sees rows of weapons racks containing thousands of firearms, organized by type and stored in conditions suggesting professional warehouse operations rather than casual storage. The scale shocks even experienced investigators who expected to find some illegal inventory, but not a full warehouse operation. The organizer explains his operation openly, confident that the agent represents no threat given the vetting process and months of building trust. He describes his acquisition channels, distribution network, and security measures that have kept the operation undetected for years. He emphasizes that the educational collection provides perfect cover, with inspections consistently finding everything proper and never questioning why the club receives regular shipments and has visitors coming and going frequently. The entire conversation gets recorded, providing devastating evidence of the operation's scope and the organizer's central role. Additional purchases over 8 weeks allow the agent to document the distribution system, identify key buyers and suppliers, and gather evidence of the financial flows supporting the operation. He photographs the hidden warehouse areas, records conversations with the organizer and cooperating board members, and traces weapons from the hidden inventory to verify they're stolen or otherwise illegally obtained. The investigation builds a comprehensive case encompassing weapons trafficking, money laundering, fraud related to the club's license applications and inspection certifications, and conspiracy charges against everyone involved in the operation. Surveillance teams deploy to monitor the club and track individuals coming and going during suspicious hours. They document buyers arriving, entering the clubhouse with the organizer, and leaving with equipment bags and cases containing concealed weapons. They photograph vehicles, track their movements, and identify individuals who turn out to have criminal records or connections to trafficking networks across multiple states. The surveillance confirms the club serves as a major distribution hub for illegal weapons, rather than an isolated operation serving local criminal demand. Financial forensics teams analyze the club's banking records and the personal finances of board members involved in the illegal operation. They discover massive cash deposits inconsistent with legitimate club revenue, structured to avoid reporting thresholds. They trace laundered proceeds through shell companies, real estate investments, and business ventures that obscure the criminal origins. The financial evidence demonstrates millions in illegal proceeds over 8 years, far exceeding any income the club could generate from legitimate membership and activities. Federal prosecutors coordinate with state authorities to plan a comprehensive takedown operation. The club's rural location and substantial membership, who are completely unaware of illegal operations, create unique challenges. The operation must secure the hidden warehouse areas while ensuring innocent club members aren't unnecessarily alarmed or put at risk. Legal teams prepare warrants covering the entire club property, residences of board members involved in the scheme, and businesses used for money laundering. Tactical teams rehearse procedures for executing raids simultaneously across multiple locations. The operation launches on a weekday morning when the club is closed, and only staff are present. Federal agents and state police secure the property perimeter before entering the clubhouse. They detain the organizer and cooperating board members present, then search the facility systematically. Agents locate the concealed passages and access the hidden warehouse areas, discovering over 5,000 weapons in various stages of storage and preparation for distribution. The scale exceeds even the investigation's estimates, indicating the operation was larger and more active than evidence suggested. Simultaneous raids target the residences and businesses of all individuals identified as involved in the operation. Agents arrest 10 people, including the organizer, 4 board members, 3 major buyers, and 2 suppliers. Each location yields additional evidence, including financial records, communications coordinating transactions, and in some cases, weapons awaiting delivery. The coordinated operation dismantles the entire network in one action, preventing warnings from spreading and suspects destroying evidence. Innocent club members learn about the illegal operation through media coverage following the raids. Most express shock that criminal activity occurred at their family-friendly hunting club for years without their knowledge. Some feel betrayed by leadership they trusted, while others question how they failed to notice suspicious activities happening at facilities they used regularly. The club's reputation suffers catastrophic damage, with members resigning and public opinion turning against an organization associated with major weapons trafficking, regardless of most members' innocence. The investigation expands to trace weapons through distribution networks extending across 6 states. Agents identify over 200 buyers who purchased from the club's hidden warehouse, charging many with weapons trafficking violations. The effort to recover all distributed weapons becomes a multi-year project as investigators trace firearms through multiple resales and across jurisdictional boundaries. Some weapons appear at crime scenes during the investigation, providing tragic evidence of the operation's impact on public safety. Evidence processing takes weeks as forensic teams catalog thousands of seized weapons, analyze financial records documenting 8 years of illegal operations, and review communications between conspirators. Digital forensics recover encrypted files containing detailed transaction records, customer lists, and supplier information. The evidence fills multiple warehouses and requires dedicated personnel for organization and analysis. Trial preparation becomes a massive undertaking involving dozens of attorneys and investigators. The public announcement comes 5 days after the raids. Federal prosecutors present photos of the hidden warehouse, describe the operation's scale, and announce charges against all defendants. The numbers shock observers: 6 states, 5,000 weapons, 8 years of operation, over 16 million in illegal proceeds. Media coverage focuses on how a respected hunting club with educational programs hid massive criminal operations behind legitimate activities. Congressional committees schedule hearings on how licensed organizations can be exploited for trafficking, despite regular inspections. The organizer faces the most serious charges and longest potential sentence as the operation's leader. His indictment includes dozens of counts covering weapons trafficking, money laundering, fraud, and conspiracy charges spanning 8 years. Prosecutors seek a sentence exceeding 30 years, emphasizing his exploitation of the club's legitimate status and the substantial harm caused by distributing thousands of illegal weapons. The organizer's attorneys attempt to negotiate a plea deal, but prosecutors decline given the operation's scale and the overwhelming evidence. Trial proceedings span 9 months across multiple defendants. The organizer's trial lasts longest, with prosecutors presenting extensive evidence including the undercover agent's testimony and recordings, financial records documenting illegal proceeds, and testimony from cooperating defendants. The hidden warehouse photographs and videos make powerful evidence, showing the massive scale of illegal operations concealed behind the legitimate educational collection. Defense arguments claiming the organizer believed his activities were legal fail against evidence of his explicit discussions of illegal weapons sales. Convictions come systematically as trials conclude. The organizer receives 34 years in federal prison, one of the longest sentences ever imposed for civilian weapons trafficking. Cooperating board members receive sentences ranging from 12 to 20 years, depending on their involvement level. Major buyers who purchased bulk quantities receive 10 to 15 years. Lower-level participants who cooperate receive reduced sentences of 5 to 8 years. The comprehensive prosecution sends clear messages about consequences for exploiting legitimate organizations for criminal purposes. Civil asset forfeiture proceedings seize the entire club property, all weapons from the hidden warehouse and educational collection, vehicles used in the operation, and financial accounts containing illegal proceeds. The total value exceeds $20 million, making it one of the largest firearms trafficking asset forfeitures in federal history. The seized club property eventually sells to a conservation organization that demolishes structures and restores the land to natural state, erasing physical traces of the criminal enterprise. The hunting club's legitimate members face difficult decisions about the organization's future. Some advocate for reforming under new leadership and trying to rebuild the club's reputation. Others argue the association with massive trafficking makes recovery impossible, and the organization should dissolve. Eventually, members vote to dissolve completely, distributing remaining legitimate assets after satisfying legal obligations. The club's 30-year history ends in scandal that overshadows decades of legitimate activities and positive community contributions. Industry organizations representing hunting clubs and shooting sports groups respond by implementing enhanced oversight measures and member education about recognizing potential illegal activities. Trade associations develop certification programs requiring regular independent audits and transparency measures. Insurance companies adjust policies for organizations maintaining large firearms collections, requiring enhanced security and detailed inventory controls. The regulatory environment tightens substantially in response to the case. Legislation follows at both federal and state levels. New laws enhance penalties for trafficking operations using licensed organizations as cover and create additional reporting requirements for organizations maintaining large firearms inventories. States implement complementary measures requiring more frequent inspections and independent verification of collection inventories. The goal is making it exponentially harder for criminal organizations to exploit legitimate hunting and collecting organizations without detection. For the community surrounding the club, the revelation brings shock and concern about what other illegal operations might hide behind respected local organizations. Local officials face questions about why the club's dramatic financial recovery didn't trigger closer examination. Law enforcement agencies implement new protocols for monitoring organizations that could potentially be exploited for criminal purposes while respecting privacy rights of legitimate operations. 3 years after the initial raids, federal agents continue tracing weapons distributed through the club warehouse. Some appear at crime scenes, each recovery providing additional evidence of the operation's lasting impact. Others get recovered during raids on criminal organizations, with forensic analysis connecting them back to the club's hidden inventory. The full extent of damage caused by 8 years of trafficking may never be completely quantified, but investigators acknowledge the operation significantly contributed to illegal firearms circulation across multiple states. For prosecutors, the case demonstrates how legitimate licensed organizations can be exploited by criminals who understand that respected status provides cover for illegal operations. The club's solid reputation and regular inspection compliance actually helped conceal the criminal activity by making authorities less suspicious of activities that might trigger investigation at less established operations. The case emphasizes the importance of looking beyond surface legitimacy when investigating potential trafficking operations. The educational collection that provided cover for illegal operations raises questions about how authorities verify the legitimacy of claimed educational or historical firearms collections. Some advocates call for enhanced requirements, including digital tracking of collection inventories and mandatory third-party verification of acquisition sources. Others argue such regulations would burden legitimate collectors, while sophisticated criminals would find ways to circumvent enhanced requirements. 5 years after the case, the dissolved hunting club's former property remains conservation land, with no permanent structures. Nature reclaimed the areas where buildings stood, with vegetation covering cleared spaces and wildlife returning to habitat. Local residents who remember the club's reputation before the scandal discuss it as a cautionary tale about how criminal enterprises can hide behind respected community organizations. The story serves as a reminder that surface legitimacy doesn't guarantee actual legitimate operations. For federal investigators, the case becomes required training material demonstrating how licensed organizations can be exploited for trafficking despite regular inspections. The sophistication of the hidden warehouse construction and the careful maintenance of legitimate appearance while conducting criminal operations illustrate challenges of detecting well-concealed illegal activity. Training emphasizes the importance of investigating beyond surface compliance when indicators suggest potential hidden operations. The story concludes with recognition that sophisticated criminals exploit legitimate organizations by understanding that respected status and regulatory compliance provide cover for hidden illegal activities. The hunting club case demonstrated how educational collections and license status can be weaponized to conceal massive trafficking operations in plain sight. But once investigators identified suspicious patterns and conducted thorough undercover investigation, patient work assembled overwhelming evidence leading to comprehensive prosecution. Vigilance in monitoring all licensed organizations remains essential regardless of their reputation or compliance history. The hunting club succeeded for 8 years because its legitimate status and regular compliance made authorities less likely to suspect criminal activity. Only sustained attention to patterns suggesting hidden operations beyond visible legitimate activities can detect such sophisticated exploitation of licensed organizations. The work of preventing and detecting such exploitation never ends, requiring constant adaptation as criminals develop new methods for hiding behind legitimate facades.